Make a U-turn. In 1,000 feet, slight left, take the next left, sharp left, turn right on, continue on, in a quarter mile, at the light, in 600 feet, turn right on.
You have reached your destination.
Well, let's do a walk around. I've done the first block sanding of the body, and I gotta say again, I've said this 1,000 times before, I got one hell of a good canvas to start off with. So I've got a few things I want to work on. That being, well, again, draw your eye to the darker stuff. That's the those are the bad formations in the paint. So I have these two. Go this way. Those two to sand out. And then repaint. Some of the red came through, that's okay. You can see that the back, I'm going to have a lot of work to do on the back. If nothing more than just to block, sand all this shit down, and then get it even. The trunk came out really well. It's still a little bit wet here or there. This side, a little bit of a dark stuff in here. And that one's okay. I'll do a little bit more work on this seam here because it's rough. You'll be able to see that in the paint. I can barely feel that. So, and I took some down to bare metal, so I'll definitely have to prime this pretty quickly. A little bit there. Some here, of course, some on top. So, how to fix this? There's two ways. Either fill it, and I may do that, or put an extra coat of primer on top, and when it block sands, off it comes and no one knows. And that's probably the preferred way, since I'm going to reprime everything. This looks good. Some up here to work on. Again, you're looking for dark spots. Those are low spots. What the hell? Something's on me. A little bit of work up in here to do, but again, that's just some more primer. Gotta sand that out. I will do zero work on areas that I sanded down that you can't see. In fact, on the inner part of the fender here, I'm going to put chassis paint black. The rest of it I'll paint body, but I'm not going to make any attempt to make things look pretty or undo any ripples or dipples or, you know, dents in the paint. This I sanded down a bit more, so I've got some work I think in here. Maybe. Waving at the neighbor there. Some work in here. Okay, so this and this are the same thing. This is fiberglass, excuse me. This is fiberglass, this is fiberglass. And I was sanding this way down. So the sanding block I was using caught here and here, and this is a low spot. So again, just train your eye for the darker spots and you'll see where I've got work to do. All over the nose here. I may need to take a sanding sponge and do all the nose part because there are so many curves in the X and the Y and the Z direction. So not necessarily bad metal, but just I'm going to have to sand this stuff with a sanding sponge. Not a big deal. A little bit of bare metal there, easy. Bared a lot of metal here, and I feel a little bit in there. I'd do like a skim coat of Bondo or something after I prime this, just like that, to even it out between here and here, right? Don't feel that. I do feel that. I feel these. If your skin can feel it, then your eye will see it in the final paint job. Okay, so this is why body work takes me so goddamn long. I did some work on the interior, and I was able to take down the paint that was on my body number. I'm going to tape that over so it doesn't get painted. And I did some work up in there. Given all the stuff that eventually goes back up in there, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. Maybe I will. I've got an idea for an air conditioner in this thing, and the unit that I want to buy is both heater and air conditioner in one unit, and it goes on the inside and not here. So all this open space you'd be able to see. I may elect to spend some time making all the stuff in here pretty. Think about that. Didn't rinse, oh, maybe I did rinse this well. Yeah, I did. Well, this milky kind of white stuff here, that's kind of what you're looking for when you wet sand. That one is okay. So on both left and right side, I've got this hole here. I don't know what that's for. It goes in and then drains down. I'm guessing it just allows water to drain through and out if it had to, but I don't know any better. I want to do some work on this corner here because you can see not just low spots, but chips out and a chip out here. May have done that when I was removing paint. Need to sand that down. Okay, so the basic walk around that I just did is what I always do when I do any kind of body work. I try to put my mind onto where I've got to go, and then I break it up into quadrants. I'll do the back first, then the top, and then the front. And then I'll get into the engine bay and do fenders, inner fenders, because I want this car to look nice in and out. So, the rest of it, again, in terms of body and what's good and what's bad, I mean, I've got such a great canvas. Okay, so I want to go over a couple of minor items that I want to catch up on. You're looking at automotive seam sealer, and I realize it looks awfully bright and suspiciously like bathroom caulking, but let me show the product I'm using. Maybe you'd want to look at it too, but there it is. I got this with another larger order I'd made with, what do you call it? God damn it. Primer and some other shit, right? So I have made a point to try to shore up and close off all of the holes and seams that I could find, except for the bottom ones under that that inner sill, because if water ever does get in there, I want it to drain out, right? So I have left all that unsealed, just the top. And over this goes paint, so this is paintable. Same thing on the inside there, and on the outside as well, the other side, here, okay? What's next? These things. So Bob, who has a Coupe project much more advanced than mine, I think you're done now, right, Bob? I bought these from him, and I gotta say, Bob ought to be selling things to Moss because his work is superb. Okay, this is Bob in his garage with a punch, and this thing is louvered correctly. It's louvered on this plane out, as well as that plane in, so that it catches air and forces it out. So a little bit of a lip there. And you can see I originally here traced it out and then went back about an inch and a half, so that I've got something to actually attach the louver to. Did it on both sides, and I've since bent and crest and moved it the way that it should be. It comes pre-drilled per Bob, and that's it. So okay, right now I'm just filling. God, I missed one. I'm filling in minor divots, so forth. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of Bondo to fill in the divots and a couple of little craters I found and so forth. I put some in here in the sides of the windshield frames so that it would be smooth. There's some paint residue, some pitting from rust. Let's see. Do I have any in here? No, not really. A little bit, but not bad. Then I got some things here on the back. I'm going to leave those until later so that I can do the entire back all at once. I'm going to use one of my long boards and see what I've got. And again, there it is from the top. and a couple of oopses there to take care of, and some stuff down here. This stuff here is just different levels of paint and primer, so that's going to be really easy to take out. I've got that to do. I got that. And I'll show you right quick my my louvers. Louvers. Okay, so obviously they're in the sun. It's probably 88 degrees or so. No idea what that is in Celsius. I'm using Summit chassis paint, and I've used this to good effect on my Roadster. I put some of this on my Roadster's frame, had to redo something, and chewing through this with damned what do you call it, with a mechanical grinder was tough. So this chassis paint is awfully good stuff. I've got nothing but love for it. I'll let this sit in the sun until and that'll be that. I've already got the other side of it done, so I'll probably scuff up the other side and put a second coat on tomorrow, because I've got a lot of that can left. So that's it for the day. Well, a lot of good forward progression and work. I need to get the water out of there. But as you can see, I've done a lot of work. I took it outside to rinse it off, and so I'll get that off with a paper towel and tack cloth. But and here too, a whole bunch of shit there. Oh well, I got the hose still here. I guess I could do it. So again, draw your eye to the spots I've got that are bonded. God, that's smooth. Got a little bit of work in here to do. That's going to be easy to fill. And as you can see on the back, like I told you last time, because it didn't reflect correctly, I took a longboard. I'll show it to you. I'll pause. Here are the longboards. I used this one first and got it down to a really good one, and then this one, so I didn't dork up the overall curve of things. And then this one to kind of file it down so it was nice and even, with a little bit of work using my sponge. Okay, so let's go back out and take a look at what we've got. Obviously you can't see reflection in there. I do see perhaps a little bit of a ridge here, maybe, possibly. But again, using that longboard, and now everything is more or less in the same even plane. You can see how well or how badly I did when I smoothed it out the first time. And hint, I didn't do very well. But I kind of knew that, and I expected to be longboarding these things, right? Going on the other side. Minus the dust, I had a little bit of a ridge in here. I took care of that. Some low spots that you saw earlier. A little bit of a low spot there. Took care of that. And again, dust, but you know, shit happens. I was able to get the corner smoothed out on both sides here and there, and as you can kind of see, look for the red, those were high spots. I didn't prime in there very well, so I'm gonna let this thing dry off, and then overnight I'll let it soak out, dry out, whatever. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna re-prime everything. Now that I've got everything more or less at a nicely painted, primed base level, minus a few things here or there that I'll want to address later. So 2 coats of primer on this entire old girl. I'll let it dry and cure for another couple days, and then get at it with, again, block sanding, just like I did here, with an eye of not going all the way through. So 2 nice thick coats will do me. I won't have to worry about bare metal. This came out really nice. A little bit of a rough, and I don't know. Unless I can feel something there, but something to address. Let's see if I can see this on my screen. Yep. See that? You can see even better with the that would show up nicely, just beautifully, thank you very much, in the final paint coat. So I've got to address that. That's a second or two of sanding. This this is really nice, even from here down to here, and then I didn't put enough Bondo in this area to fill it in, so I'll need to put a light coat throughout here, kind of triangle pattern, right? Everything else feels good. You can kind of see that, but that feels okay. Again, thick primer coat, block sanded back down, and that'll come out. I showed you already the louvers. Did a little bit of work in there. I'm gonna even that out tomorrow as well, so it looks nice. And that is that. So again, some of the okay. Well, I've got happy news to show you. This is primed by about 3 different layers of primer. Right. So all the Bondo and the fiberglass and the filler I have used is just about invisible, which is nice. What I have left is the need to sand one more time before paint. So I'm almost ready for paint. Everything up here looks good, minus that. That's my own fucking mistake, and some ripples here. That's me too close to the goddamn roof, so I need to sand all that down. I'm gonna sand it down anyway. I think that was a water droplet off my gun. Everything else here looks pretty good, right? I've even gotten the seam sealer. Good, 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 good. It looks great. Hell yeah, rock on. I want to do a little bit of more, potentially a little bit more work in the trunk. And this turned out pretty goddamn well. Not that you can see too well, but the reflection looks really good. I may have a little bit of work to do here, and that's just sanding down. I've got probably 4 coats of primer in the back. And it looks great. It looks great. And wait for it. What in the overbearing fuck? And that, and that. So that denotes some, something that didn't work well with the primer coat. Some sort of a solvent that I didn't clean off well enough, or I don't know what the fuck. So all that gets sanded down to bare metal. Isn't that lovely? And then redone. Isn't that lovely? Yeah. Okay, well, let's keep on going for some good news then. And that's out here. Okay. I don't know if you remember or not, but I never did prime the back parts of the front fenders. And I've done that. That's also 3 coats. Okay, check this out. Watch. That is what's coming off the bottom of my sandals. And again, a perfect example of why you wear a face mask. I place these down nice and gently, so when it is time to, I'm going to take a break, eat some lunch, and then do some work on the other panels for their final coat. I'm going to post this and say it's good, even though I do have some other work to do. I'll post the updates to the other work I've got going, and you'll see how I've gone on. Okay. You've already seen the louvers. Those go in, or will go in. I've got to order some more chassis paint, and that'll go directly into the fender arches there, and then I'll tape it all off so you can't see it while I do other painting. I want the inner arches to be black. And that's that. So, yeah, lots of good progress, and I'll go ahead and post this. Weekend's coming up, and here you go.